We return to the Simpsons Hit and Run series, where we take a look at the interiors used in each level. This time we're looking at level 4, which is the same as level 1, just set at dusk rather than in broad daylight. To quickly recap on what we're doing here, I'm using a cheat code that allows me to drive through walls so I can get to the place out of bounds where the level's interiors are. You should be able to achieve the same results with the in-game cheat that lets you jump super high in a car when you press the horn button, but essentially this is an easier method. So by driving through this wall here, you can get beyond the play area and into the section of the map which is usually out of bounds. So after taking a right turn, once you get out of bounds here, you should see the Simpsons house, as long as you previously entered it in normal gameplay, which makes the game load the interior. Now you might be thinking, what's the point in going out of bounds to enter these interiors when you can just do it anyway? Well, doing this allows you to explore parts of the interiors you were never supposed to be able to get to, such as the hallway and kitchen areas of the Simpsons house. You can even explore the exterior of these interiors too. Here you can see part of Ned Flanders' house and also what is basically a screenshot of the surrounding area, and makes it appear that this interior is in its proper spot on the map. As you can see, there's no wall behind the TV, which is where the camera would usually be, pointing at the player. Coming into the hall, you can see that the TV actually has no screen, and there's also half an armchair back here, as well as a family photo on the wall. Right near the Simpsons house is the interior for Bart's bedroom, which isn't present on level 1, making this a brand new place to explore in level 4. As with all interiors on the game, it has a photo of the surrounding area. In this case, it's the Simpsons' back garden, to give the impression that you've not actually left the play area. Coming around to the front, you can see into Bart's bedroom. The clothes icon still loads in, though any level gags located here do not load, weirdly. So in level 8, Bart's bed is missing. A funny thing to do with this interior is to stand behind Bart's mirror. It's like Marge is haunting the poor kid in his sleep. How creepy would it be if you actually saw that? Anyway, another cool thing about entering interiors in this way is that you can jump, when in normal gameplay you can't. You've just got to find the right spot, and of course you can even jump back out again as well. There's not too much to explore once you're in the irregular area of this interior, however, so let's move on to the next one. Stopping off at the cemetery for a brief moment. This part of the cemetery was only accessible in level 8, so while this district of Springfield is present in 3 levels, 1, 4 and 8, in the first 2 of those it's inaccessible, and I have no idea why. Maybe it was saved till level 8 to add to the haunted Halloween feel of the level. You can get coins from knocking over the gravestones, and you can take the jump, just as if you were on level 8. And this is one glitch that definitely can be done with the in-game jumping cars cheat, rather than having to use cheat codes. Okay, time to move on to the Kwik-E-Mart. Now this interior is actually the same as on level 1, so we'll just run through it quickly. If you want to explore it in depth with me, you can view it on that video. So the interior for the Kwik-E-Mart is actually located really close to where the store is within the play area. Just go through this wall, or try to jump over it if you're using the in-game cheats rather than the method I'm using, and after going through the parts of the area that form the background to the part you can explore, you're out in the open. I'm using the hover bike here as it tends to be quite stable, while certain other cars can flip over and fall through the level. Once you're inside the Kwik-E-Mart, you can see that, like in the other interiors, the gags don't load in, which means no squishy machine and no Frostilicus, as well as other things. As I mentioned before, you can change your clothes, and you can speak to any characters that are usually in these interiors, such as Apu here. There's only a small part of this interior that you can't usually explore. There's a section towards the back where the other characters can appear, such as Kearney and Jimbo, and there's also a kind of corridor that runs along the right-hand side of the building, behind the arcade games like Larry the Looter. Jumping up on the clothing icon can get you out of the interior, and you can explore the corridor off to the side that's usually inaccessible. It's weird how the top of the clothing icon is solid when you can walk straight into it to interact with it. Walking round a short way allows you to drop into that corridor I mentioned before. Here there's the doorway where characters come and go, but of course they don't load in when you access the interiors in this way. Lastly, we have the Springfield Elementary School. Again, we'll run through this one fairly quickly as it's pretty much the same as on level 1, which I've covered in depth already, so please do check that video out as well. And after I've skipped a bit of the driving here, it's time to explore the last interior on level 4. Contrary to the Kwik-E-Mart, there are more areas of this interior to explore here that you couldn't get into during normal gameplay, and I'm actually going to drop right into it first of all. So here we have one of the classrooms in the school, possibly Mrs. Krabappel's classroom, as Bart has written his name on the blackboard. As you can see, there are only a handful of desks in here, just enough for you to see when you look through the doorway during normal gameplay. There are also other things like a flag on the wall, a globe, a picture, and a few small items on the teacher's desk. Going through the nearby hallway, this is again an area that you can't normally explore. There are a couple of doorways that don't really lead anywhere, and this is also the spot on the map where characters load in, such as Ralph Wiggum eating a jar of paste. It's actually pretty difficult to jump back into the regular part of the interior from here. Now you can run down the side of the main hallway and even go through a rubbish bin that's located near the main doors. No idea why you'd really want to do that, but you can. And that wraps up our exploration of level 4's interiors on the Simpsons Hit and Run. Join me for the next part of the series very soon. Thanks for watching.